Author Mark Muncy and illustrator Carrie Schultz did a great job showing us the eerie and freaky side of Florida that we wanted to invite them back for our Halloween show so we could get more ghoulish and scary tales. Welcome back, and just as we've been sitting here talking with them, we learned about a kiss connection that you've got to share with us.
Well, over the weekend, we were up at Spooky Empire, the big convention for Halloween and horror and heavy metal. And it's up there, and Peter Criss was one of the guests. Huh. And at one point, he was out with his group wandering the floor, just looking at some of the vendors, and he stopped by our table and said, "Oh, I got that book." And
so he has one of your books.
Eerie, Florida, which was made us thrilled, and
yes.
that was like, ah!
That's so cool. Well, and remind everybody what your books are in case we missed you the first time. And in fact, you could probably take the whole hour of the show.
I've been known to do that. Is the problem. So
we're going to give you your own special soon.
Okay. Well, we do Eerie, Florida and Freaky Florida from the History Press, which are the myths, monsters, and legends of Florida and the history behind them. We've traveled. How far have we traveled, Carrie? Now?
So many thousands of miles.
Yes, like 7,000 miles and never left the state. We, for those monsters that won't pose for pretty pictures and always seem to be blurry, Carrie, our talented illustrator, brings them to life for us. So, so we've got our, from everything from the Gulf Breeze UFOs down to Robert the Doll down in Key West.
Okay, well, let's get to it. We got to get some stories, don't you think?
I'm glad to tell some spooky stuff.
So the first one, the dancing ghost of Gulfport Casino. This ghost seems nice if he's dancing. I kind of like this one.
So Gulfport Casino, we're all pretty familiar with over just across the bridge in near South St. Pete. The Gulfport Casino is right on the edge of the bay. But it's actually, the original casino was further out on this thing called the Electric Pier. And it had a big two-story structure. And they use the term casino, not like we think of now as with slot machines and all this. They use the original Italian term as casino as a place to gather. So it was just a cool place to hang out. And there was a dance studio up on the second floor with a dance floor. And the hurricane of 1917 came through, which is one of the few that actually really hit us and wiped out that whole pier and wiped out that building. But what happens is everybody still in the morning sees out dancing just as sunrise goes. You see this guy dancing out over where the old casino was, over the water. You can see the Don Cesar behind him.
Carrie, did you draw this picture right here then? This is one of yours? So what did you base this off of? Just people's stories and...
Yeah, I talk to people. I try to get a good description of what it should look like, and I go from there.
Is it pretty clear? I mean,
he's supposedly seen pretty clear. He's seen dancing with him.
Wait a minute.
I want to go check this out. I think we got to do it on location.
Okay, I think it's seen in the mornings, and he's seen dancing with an invisible partner. So All
right, he seems like a fun-loving ghost. I don't know. All right, Pinky the sea monster of the St. Johns River.
Okay, now he's up north near Jacksonville, but goes all the way down to Sanford area and Lake Mary. And there's a bridge right there, ties into another ghost story, the I-4 dead zone, but we can talk about that another time. Pinky is our Nessie. He's, Florida loves to name things. We've got the town on the Gulf that's a port, we call it Gulfport. We got a monster that's kind of pink, so we call him Pinky. He's supposedly the color of boiled shrimp. And
is he like half turtle, half giraffe,
he's got
like mermaid?
Kind of a little bit of everything. He's got a really long neck. He's got eye stalks or antenna or tentacles. It looks more like a snail in the head, but he's got a big shell on his back, and he's, like I said, bright pink. So of course we call him Pinky. And he's been almost knocked over a steamboat in the 1800s. So he's been around a while. But he really gained notoriety in the 70s during the whole Nessie mania. Somebody saw him and described him. It got big in the papers, and it was everywhere. So, he's our famous sea monster.
The Nebraska Avenue Trestle Bridge monster.
Okay, this one we get a lot of fun for. This one's just off of Nebraska Avenue, not too far from this studio.
Oh, great.
There was a train bridge goes across the river. The Hillsborough River, and it's right next to a school.
I know.
So a lot of kids, you know exactly that bridge, right? That's right around the corner from here.
Oh, lovely.
Kids walk across that trestle bridge, despite don't walk on trestle bridges. But what happens is there's this legend of this monster on the bridge. There's a body just kind of lays on there in a suit, and it's like, help me, help me. So people go out to help him. But then when you get out on the bridge, it rises up like a spidery sea spider, and it's holding the body like an anglerfish. And it's lured you out. And so the only choice is you deal with the monster.
I'm looking at that different from now on.
Yeah, or do you jump into the water below? Now the problem is that bridge has lots of mysterious disappearances, suicides, deaths associated with it.
Nope, not going there.
So,
really?
Real quick before we run out of time, let's mention the doll. You brought this last time, we didn't get to Robert.
Yeah, Mini Robert is this our mini version we got from the 40s Morella Museum. Real Robert is about a foot taller, and you have to ask permission to take Robert's photo. You have to be very kind to Robert. Robert is the inspiration for Chucky. He is a haunted doll down in Key West, considered the most haunted doll in the world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just a few hours from here.
That's what inspired Chucky? No way.
Because he was seen moving around. When the house was abandoned and he was left, he was still seen moving around.
Did we ask permission to
I know. We've been taking pictures already.
We talked to him beforehand.
Good.
But there's a whole wall behind him of letters of people apologizing, including a couple former presidents who apologized to Robert for not being respectful or not taking
Robert, we're so sorry.
Permission.
Oh my.
Okay on camera.
And it's
I was just going to say, we're out of time. People can get your book, though, several of them.
Come back and see us. We love when you're here. What
EerieFlorida.com is all you got to know.
Thank you, guys. Happy Halloween.
Thank you, too. Happy Halloween, gang.